Okay, hello, and I'll just do a short video here talking about your major assignment that is due on the 20th of September. Please follow the instructions carefully. All submissions to be dropped online on the Moodle Dropbox on that due date, and also all submissions are to be emailed to this AF11 online Gmail account. Okay, the reason being our assignments are normally marked externally, and I will be giving the marker access to that email account to be able to access all your emails. Plus, I'll be looking at the online submissions on Moodle. So please ensure that you do submit online and also to that AF11 online Gmail account. Okay, so the instructions, please read it carefully. It's supposed to be done individually, or if you can do it in a group of 3 or 4 students from the same campus, that is also allowable. Your assignment should be word processed. If it's late, it will be deducted, penalties will apply. You use the APA style of referencing that is required. You use proper in-text referencing for any information that you cite outside from your textbook, from online references. Okay, so you have to generate a proper bibliography. Okay, if your assignment is found to be plagiarized, meaning you have copied a majority of the content of your assignment from online sources, or you have copied from another assignment, this will be awarded a 0 mark. A font size of 12 should be used. Maximum word limit is up to 1,000 words. Okay, so like I said earlier, all assignments to be submitted on Moodle Dropbox by the due date. Submission box will be made available. Okay, only one submission per group. Okay, just apologies. Not all members will be required to submit. The group can decide which member in the group is going to submit online, and on the email copy, again, one submission per group to be emailed or individually. On your email copy, you will have to provide the cover page. That is only on the email copy. Yeah? So the cover page of your full name and your ID number, I'll be making that cover page online on Moodle. Remember, only one submission per group, but all the details of the group members to be put on that cover page. Yeah? And also on the cover page, you just indicate then asterisk or highlight which member it has submitted on the Moodle Dropbox. Okay, so please do follow those instructions. If anything is unclear, please do come back and see me or email me about that. Okay, so you're supposed to select one company from the South Pacific Stock Exchange. Okay, so we'll go now to the South Pacific Stock Exchange and we'll see how do we select a company from the South Pacific Stock Exchange. So this is the South Pacific Stock Exchange webpage. Okay, the link that has been provided. So to look for the company that you're going to look at, you click on company information and you look at the listed companies annual report. So you go to 2018 because we said the latest annual report. You have 10 years of annual reports there. So we look at the 2018 annual report. So we click on the 2018 annual reports. You'll see that only let's see how many companies, about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 companies have actually submitted the 2018 annual report so far. So you will be picking only one company from this list, which company you're going to analyze their financial statements for this year 2018 and give your feedback on. Okay, so let's go back to the question and see what are we supposed to do. So you're required to review and analyze your chosen listed company's latest annual report. Okay, so if it's a big company, you can select only the holding company or the group. Okay, but please state that in your introduction, which figures are you analyzing? You don't really have to analyze both. And you compile a report using the following questions. Okay, so brief background on your chosen company. Please do not cut and paste from the web. Okay, just write it in your own words using the information that is given in the annual report. Okay, so, and then you have to analyze their cash in their balance sheet and in the statement of cash flows. You also look at the receivables and payables in the balance sheet, providing some commentary on that. You also evaluate the property, plant, and equipment in the balance sheet. and you can comment on that, answering those questions, and then lastly your conclusion. So when you're writing your report, when you're doing your research, normally the introduction, which the background summary will be in, and your conclusion will be the last parts of your assignment that you will write up. You'll first start answering these 3 questions first. Okay, so this is the research that you will be doing on the balance sheet. On first, you're looking at their cash, then the receivables and payables, and then you're looking at the property, plant, and equipment. Okay, so let's go into that company that we have chosen. Okay, so let's say we look into the Fijian Holdings Limited Group. So you download or view file. It takes you to the company's annual financial statements. Okay, so you can see here the directors' reports are given there. And then you have the auditor's report that is also provided, okay, to make sure the auditors have verified all the financial statements provided by the company, and they have stated their comments there on the financial statements and how they have done their audit to make sure that the figures in the financial statements faithfully represent, okay, what the company. Okay, so you have the company's consolidated statement of profit or loss, another comprehensive income is stated there. So this is for the group. Okay, and this consolidated statement of financial position for the group. Okay, and then we have our statement of profit and loss for the company and their for the group and the subsidiary company for the company. Yeah. Okay, so this is for the group and the company. So this is what I'm saying. If you are going to focus on the group or company, state it in your introduction. Which figures are you going to focus on if you're looking at one of these big companies? So like we said, the first thing we have to analyze is our cash. So we'll look at the balance sheet that is provided, your statement of financial position. So we said we'll look at, if we look at the company, we're analyzing the figures for the company. We're looking at the asset cash. You see your cash and cash equivalents has decreased from 156 million to 153 million. For the group, it has decreased from 21 million to 14 million. To get more information on that, you can go to note 10A, okay, to get more information about these cash and cash equivalents, which would be towards the bottom of this document, note 10A. But we can also look at the statement of cash flows, because the statement of cash flow shows us how the cash is flowing in from your operating activities, your investing activities, and the financing activities. So we can see that for the company, they are generating positive cash flows from your operating activities. For the company, it has decreased from 12 million to 10 million. For the group, from 38 million, it has increased to 40 million. So this is the cash flows from their operating activities, which is shown there. So that's a positive figure. So they're generating those cash flows. On the other hand, your investing activities. So these are the investing activities on their fixed assets. Okay, so you can see the company has acquired property, plant, and equipment during the period. Previously, in 2017, they acquired about $30 million worth of property. In 2018, they acquired $22 million worth of properties. The company, it was from 118 million to 104 million. Okay, so they've investing a lot in property, plant, and equipment. Share deposits, they've purchased quite a few share deposits here for the company as well as for the group. Sorry, that's the company that is gone across the group. Investment in equity securities, only the company and the group has done that. These are proceeds from the disposal of equity securities that they've sold. They gained 7 million. Other proceeds from plant, property, and equipment they've sold during the period, okay, for the company and for the group. And net advances from subsidiaries, the figures are shown there. However, you can see that the company is generating a positive cash inflow from investing activities, okay, though it has decreased from 3 million to only 427,000. For the group, it was previously 30 million and now it has decreased to 26 million. However, it's a cash outflow. Okay, when it's a negative amount, that indicates the cash is flowing out of the company instead of coming into the company. Okay, financing activities, you can see that the cash movements in terms of financing activities. The company is paying out dividends, that's 7 million. That has payments, debt security payments as well, dividends paid to non-controlling interests for the group, payments for lease liabilities, okay? And for financing activities, they've actually had a cash outflow of 17 million and the company of 10 million. Okay, so this is in terms of the cash flows. Then okay, you have to show the figures, the increases, the decreases during the period as stated there in your assignment, and some possible factors that we have talked about in the cash flows, okay, or the payments that they have made during the period. The second one is the receivables and payables in the balance sheet. You can use one relevant ratio for each category. So if we go to our company, let's look at our balance sheet. We're looking at our receivables. Our receivables for assets, the company, does it have any receivables? Yes, it has loans, advances, and receivables, note 12. So to know more about their receivables, you have to go to note 12 towards the bottom of this document. So those are the group, the receivables for the group, and for the company, these are the receivables for the company. Yeah? So you can analyze that, do a ratio on that. And also the payables, you can go to note 24. You can see this is for the group, the payables for the group, and this is the payables for the company. Okay, so again, do an analysis on that. Property, plant, and equipment is the third one. So if you look at property, plant, and equipment, that's on note 15. To get more information on that, you can go to note 15 and also to the cash flow. So the investing activities, it shows us the purchases and the sales of property, plant, and equipment during the period. So this is the group's property, plant, and equipment balances in the balance sheet. Yeah? And again, to get more information, you get more information from the notes to the financial statements. Okay, so I hope that gives you a fair idea. In the notes, it will tell us how the carrying amount. When you say carrying amount, that's basically your total cost of your property, plant, and equipment minus your accumulated depreciation, which is shown there on the balance sheet. Okay, so you can provide tables for that, showing the increases and decreases during the period. How the assets have been valued, that would be given in the notes. If the assets have been valued based on historical cost, or is it valued using fair value, and is it in line with the relevant accounting standard? That would all be shown in the notes to the financial statements. And if there were any acquisitions, like we said, this is in your cash flows under the investing activities. It will show the acquisitions made during the period. If there were any sales during the period, that is also shown in your statement of cash flows under investing activities. If there was any revaluations made by the period, that means the company is using the fair value and increasing the value of some of your assets or decreasing the value of some of those assets. Again, it will be showed in the notes to the financial statements. Okay, so once you have made the analysis on 1, 2, and 3, then you provide a brief background on your chosen company. It should no longer then be 2 paragraphs. And your introduction, basically giving a brief review of what you're going to do in that assignment, and your conclusion, which your conclusion is supported by your analysis. And you are providing your conclusion, you're advising that group of investors whether they should make that investment decision in that company or not. Okay, remember, your analysis of the figures will give them an indication of whether they should go ahead with that investment or not. Okay, so the following structure in compiling your research report will be followed. Your introduction, which includes the background of your company. You do cash at bank analysis, giving your tables, your graphs, etc. to support your analysis. Your receivables and payables analysis, showing your analysis and your ratios. Property, plant, and equipment analysis, answering those questions and showing your analysis, and your conclusion and recommendation. Okay, so please, I hope that's clear. Please follow the instructions and the template provided. And these are some of the guidelines for students when you are doing that assignment. Okay, so to ensure that you do not plagiarize, okay, this will be followed in marking the assignment. And okay, the rubric, this is the rubric that we'll be using to mark your assignment, so you can follow that rubric as well. Okay, so